Here's a really good book about butterflies as well. It's called A Butterfly is Patient. This is the front of it. Look at that caterpillar. That's a real type of caterpillar. So interesting. I love how their pictures are what real butterflies and caterpillars look like. Let's look at some of these caterpillars. Because, like I said before, caterpillars can look very different. That one is just so neat to me, but even that one's kind of cool. Some of them you can tell have little spikes. This is to protect them so that other animals like birds and things like that don't want to eat them. Look at that caterpillar. Wow. And then there's a chrysalis. That's a different looking chrysalis. A butterfly is patient. A butterfly is patient. It begins as an egg beneath an umbrella of leaves, protected from rain, hidden from creatures that might harm it, until the caterpillar inside chews free from its egg casing, tiny, wingless, hungry to grow. So there's an egg. Sometimes they lay one egg, sometimes more than one. A caterpillar feeds on leaves, eating so much that it must molt or shed its skin many times. It can grow up to 30,000 times larger than it was when it took its first bite. So let's just look at that. This is the egg, and when it first comes out, it's this big, really tiny. And then it'll start growing and eating, and growing and eating, and then it forms that J and attaches itself, and then it's in a chrysalis, right? And then it comes out of the chrysalis and it's a butterfly. This is a different type of butterfly that we have in our classroom. Once a caterpillar has eaten all that it needs, it creates a protective covering called a chrysalis. Curled inside the chrysalis, it is growing wings. Now it is time for metamorphosis, changing from one form to another. Oops. A butterfly is helpful. Look at these butterflies going from flower to flower. When they do this, they're help pollinating the flowers too. Butterflies, like bees, help pollinate plants so that they can reproduce or make seeds. As a butterfly flits from flower to flower, sipping nectar, tiny grains of pollen cling to its body, then fall away onto their other flowers. Seeds are only produced when pollen is transferred between flowers from the same species. This is called pollination. So they're taking the pollen from one flower to another flower and helping it pollinate. This is an interesting butterfly. A butterfly is protective. When a butterfly has camouflage like that, it blends in with its environment so it doesn't get eaten by other animals. Look at this butterfly, looks exactly like this leaf. This butterfly looks like a leaf too. Butterflies use their wings to protect themselves from predators such as hungry birds, lizards, and other insects. Some butterflies have markings on their wings called eye spots. Scientists don't know what they are used for, perhaps to scare away predators or attack mates. Wings can help butterflies camouflage or hide themselves in the environment. One kind of butterfly, the peacock butterfly, makes a hissing sound by rubbing its wings together when it is alarmed. So this peacock butterfly will rub its wings together and it makes a hissing sound like a snake. It makes the bug want to go away and not eat it. Here's a caterpillar, butterfly, butterfly. Caterpillar. That's what the caterpillar looks like. That's the butterfly. The warning colors of some butterflies' wings, yellows, reds, oranges, whites, and blacks, tell predators that they are poisonous or bad tasting. Monarchs and pipevine swallowtails eat poisonous plants as caterpillars, so so that they become poisonous as adults. Birds and other insects have learned not to eat them. They see those colors on a caterpillar, and the birds, they don't eat those ones because they know they either taste bad or they're kind of poisonous to the bird. Look at all these different types of butterflies. A butterfly is spectacular. And they all have different names too. You can see the details on their wings. It's pretty amazing. It's cool. A butterfly is thirsty. To find flowers, butterflies smell the air with their antennae. They taste with their feet, but sip nectar, the sweet liquid produced by many flowers, with a proboscis, a tongue that coils and uncoils. So you can see that these are the antennas right here. But this is the tongue that comes all the way out and will go down into the flower to get that nectar. Some butterflies get their nourishment from rotting fruit, blue morph, or minerals. Often a kaleidoscope of butterflies gather as a puddle club in mud or near a pond or lake to drink water rich in salts and minerals. So these butterflies, instead of drinking nectar, they drink out of this little mud puddle that has lots of minerals in it for them. That's good for them. A butterfly is big. Look how big that one is. The rare Queen Alexandra birdwing is the largest butterfly in the world, with wings that can span up to 1 foot or 30.4 centimeters. It lives in the rainforest in North Papua of New Guinea. And then there's a tiny butterfly. Look at how small that one is. Aryan small blue. The smallest is the rarely seen Aryan small blue, found in Afghanistan with a wingspan of less than 1/3 of an inch, 8 millimeters, about the length of a grain of rice. They're really tiny. Well, there's what the big one looks like, the biggest butterfly and the smallest butterfly. A butterfly is scaly. So if you were to take a magnifying glass up to one of a butterfly's wings, you would see all these little itty bitty scales, which is really neat. A rainbow of shiny, powdery scales cover the wings of a butterfly. Scales stacked like shingles on a roof. Without scales, its wings would be as transparent as the wings of a bee or a dragonfly. The colors, patterns, and shapes of a butterfly's wings have a purpose. Some use their pattern of colors to attack mates. In places where the climate is cool, dark scales absorb heat from the sun, warming the butterfly's flight muscles. Butterflies are cold-blooded and must have a body temperature of 86 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius in order to fly. A butterfly is not a moth. Butterflies and moths belong to the same family of insects, which means that they have scaly wings. They are the only insect with scaly wings, but there are differences between them. Moths appeared on Earth between 100 and 190 million years ago. Butterflies 40 million years ago, during the Cretaceous period, when flowering plants and the nectar most butterflies needed to survive evolved. Nearly every kind of butterfly flies during the day, while most moths fly at night. A moth spins a cocoon made of silk, while a butterfly wraps itself in a chrysalis, or exoskeleton, made from its skin. So the chrysalis on a butterfly is made from its skin. However, a cocoon that a moth does is spun from silk. It spins it. These beautiful butterflies all in the sky. A butterfly is a traveler. Most butterflies, such as the red admiral or common buckeye, migrate a short distance to find a warmer place, but some, like the monarch, travel far. Although monarchs weigh only as much as a few rose petals, they can fly almost 3,000 miles from Canada to their winter home in Mexico. At a rate of 20 miles per hour, glider pilots have reported seeing monarchs flying at an altitude of 11,000 feet, higher than some clouds. That's pretty amazing. A butterfly is magical. Look at all those butterflies on one plant. Monarchs gather in huge numbers in the forests of central Mexico waiting for spring. Then they fly north to the milkweed plants in North America, where they lay their eggs. Now it is time again for their metamorphosis. A butterfly is patient. The egg, here's the egg, hatches. The caterpillar emerges. First it's about that big, and then it gets bigger. Feasting on leaves before it wraps itself into a warm protective chrysalis, patiently waiting. It's in the chrysalis. To soar. It's patiently waiting to come out so it can fly and get nectar and live its life. Look at all of these beautiful different types of butterflies. You can look up different types of butterflies on the computer and just see which one you like the best.